Hi, welcome. It's Karen at Sultan Sand Studios. I know you know me by now for the most part. Welcome to Yoga Intermissions. For today is a Saturday. If you are with me while I'm recording this, it's a lovely day out in Vermont, and today we're going to focus a bit on cultivating and curating. Our lives, in many ways, are affected by our choices. And sometimes we forget that we can choose. We can choose what we cultivate, the emotions we cultivate, the energy we cultivate the vibes, etc. Even cultivating what's going on in our mind to affect our bodies because it does. But then there's the curating part. Being aware of what we are allowing in. Being aware of the fact that there's quite a bit of that we can choose ourselves, or at the least, we can curate based on our response or cultivate their response to what we allow in. So, sounds a little bit esoteric, but I'll use an example. In talking with some team members recently in my corporate job, some people were upset by a particular meeting by the way someone had acted. And come to find out, that person was equally upset by the way the other people had acted. And no one thought about, what am I cultivating here? Am I cultivating an open interchange? Nobody thought about what they were curating. Am I letting in some emotional response to this? Am I curating an emotional response to this thing, whatever the thing is, which is work? So we're going to start with a comfortable seat, long spine, hands wherever it feels okay. Tuck the belly a little in and the tailbone a little forward, and check in with the shoulders. Let them soften. Take a big breath in through the nose and out through your mouth. In through the nose. Release it. And one more time, breath in. Little extra sip at the top. Let it go. And a natural breath. The breath is a really wonderful way to bring the focus onto something that is less emotional than maybe you might be feeling otherwise. And that allows you to back away from emotional response, the hooks. It maybe can serve as a reminder that you can cultivate and curate the things that make your life the way your life brings meaning to you. Let's add Ujjayi breath into the practice, practicing for the transition into fall. Slight constriction at the back of the throat. Sounds a little bit like fogging a window or mirror, or like waves washing upon the shore. Jaw is parted, but the lips are lightly pressed together. Huge, generous breath in. And a full breath out the mouth. Drop your hands by your sides. Let the arms really hang like they're dead weights coming from the shoulders. Feel the neck get a little longer. Soften the calves and the thighs. Inhale, sweep the arms wide, palms face forward. Rotate the shoulders so the palms face behind you. Rotate the palms facing up. Stay here for a breath out. Reach, reach, reach. Inhale, arms lift high. Drop them into the shoulders, breath out. Inhale, press the palms together. Breathe out, hands to your heart. Now consider something that would be beneficial to you to cultivate during this practice that you can also take off the mat. And it might just be breath, or maybe it's positive energy, or maybe it's kindness to yourself, which is a way of cultivating positive energy. So what will you cultivate? Now consider what you might curate in this practice that you could take off of the mat, such as, I will choose what draws my attention. Or maybe even, I will choose to bring my attention back to the present moment when something distracts me. With those in mind, we'll start the more active part of the practice with the sound of Om. Cleansing breath first. Inhale. Followed by Om. Reach the hands up to the sky, separate them, give the fingers a little wiggle. Bring the arms into a cactus shape. Bring a little movement into your shoulders. You might move the elbows or not. Maybe like a little shimmy, 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 Cocoa Pop. And then interweave the arms in an eagle arm bind, one wrap or two, elbows lift, shoulder height or higher. Open up the space between your shoulder blades. If you are crunching your toes or tightening your calves or thighs, see if you can loosen those. We'll take a twist. Right palm to your chest, left arm reaches behind. Gaze moves toward your left thumb, maybe toward your left ear, as far as you can press it. Draw front and center, arms cross the chest. Reach the right arm behind you now, twist. Gaze draws toward the thumb, maybe farther behind you. Come front and center, right arm forward, left arm joins it, lock them back into the shoulders. Inhale, arms high. Exhale, cactus shape arms. We're going to take eagle arms opposite way. For me, that means left under right. For you, I think it means right under left, if I guided you appropriately. You might find a difference here. It's a little tighter for me. But what am I going to react to? What am I going to cultivate? What am I going to curate from this experience? Arms reach high. Take your time. Left hand down, a tilt over toward the left. Open up the heart toward the sky. Maybe the gaze follows. Gently opening up the body, arms lift high. And the right hand drops so we can get tall in the torso and tilt over toward the right. As you lift up, drop the left hand, then sweep both hands around to the front in front of your shins. We'll take our time crawling the hands forward to lengthen the spine. You'll start to feel potentially an opening in the hips. You'll go as far as you can go, knowing that when you pause, the breath can help you get a little farther. So we take a breath in. Squeeze the belly in on the breath out, creating real estate to walk those hands forward a little bit more, maybe a lot of it more, and drop your head. Feel the sitting bones connect to the earth. Let the head hang super heavy, bowling ball. What is your inner voice saying? Is it something you are choosing to say? Are you responding to it? Can you change what it says? Can you cultivate something different? Are there external forces like a breeze or coolness that you prefer not to feel? Maybe you could choose to curate it out of your collection of current experience. Walk the hands back behind you, shift onto your sacrum, and switch the cross of your legs. We'll take that fold again, opposite side. Noticing what feels different, not good, not bad, not positive, not negative, not black, not white, just different. Pause when you've reached your edge because it's a false edge. Breathe in. Squeeze the belly, breath out. Walk the hands forward that much more, just a little micro bit, maybe a macro bit, and drop your head. Belly draws in and up as you rise back to your seat. I'm going to remove my cushion from underneath me as we're going to take some wide-legged folding. Starting this practice, when I was really early in my teaching career, so we're going to create wide legs here. I substituted for another teacher who was teaching a class called Yoga for Stiff People, and being that early in my career, I didn't really quite understand how stiff people might feel. Um, now I know. So I've changed up my teaching a little bit. We're going to face the right knee. We're going to take a fold over toward the right knee. We're not going to go very far. We're just kind of working a little bit of a stretch in the spine and the left side of the body. Use the belly to lift back up. Bring the sole of the left foot in toward the right thigh. Face the left knee. Sweep the sweep the left arm high, and take a tilt over the right leg. You might do something different with the forearm that is near the ground. Both arms lift up, get nice and tall. Plant the left hand outside the left hip and shift onto the right foot, especially the outer edge, and the left shin. A little rock star shape. Pelvis forward, arm lifts high. Gaze at the thumb. Woo! Rock star. And we come back to our seat. This time we face the right knee and we fold over it again. Toes toward your torso. Check in with the pinky toe. It loves to guide the foot out to the right here. Rise back up. Bring the soles of your feet together. Sit up nice and tall. If you like, you can grasp the ankles or place the fingers around the tops of the feet with the thumbs in the arch, but only if that allows you to sit up straight. I'm a little stiff, as I said, so I'm going to bring my hands to my ankles to lift from the pelvis all the way to the sternum, the breastbone, and release the shoulders from the ears. If you'd like another little twist, we're going to shift onto the left hip and swing the right leg behind us with the knee still bent. And then take a twist over toward the right shin. The closer you scoot that right heel to your buttocks, the more opening you'll get in your quad. And we'll twist the opposite way, bringing your right hand to your left knee, your left hand behind you or beside you. Unravel from that twist. Both legs stretch out. We take a look over the left knee and we walk the hands forward, finding a stretch. Checking out that the feet are not dropping outward or inward. Well, it feels actually kind of good if you want to try it. A little rocking motion you might feel where you're tight in your legs. Rise back up using the belly. Right knee bends, sole of the foot comes in toward the left leg. We look over the right knee, grasping the right ankle with the left hand. Right arm floats high for our tilt over to the left. And the left forearm might take a different orientation. Right hand down outside the hip on the same side. We shift to the foot on the left side and the shin on the right side. The left arm floats high. Rock star, fingers like a knee to pelvis forward. Woohoo! We come back to our seat. Sweep over to look at the left knee and shift the heart toward the left foot. Rise back up. Soles of the feet draw together once again. And this time, if you like, you can sit upright. You can take a little back bend, which that feels really nice. Or you could also take a fold over your feet. I'm choosing to fold over my feet to open up my hips a little bit more. The elbows are helpful. And even though I have a little twinge on my right side, I am choosing to breathe into it. So I'm cultivating kindness toward it rather than ambivalence or anger or frustration. Rise back up, strong belly, legs extend. Maybe there's a little bend in your knees. Start sitting really straight and draw the pinky toe sides of the feet toward your underarms. Mine don't quite work that way, but I'm feeling that edge. It's opening up my calves. We're going to bring the hands outside the legs, lift the chest high, and walk the hands forward, finding a fold. Again, you might not go very far, and that's okay. It is just yoga. The yoga is important for those of us who are benefiting from it, and maybe some of us who are not feeling like we're benefiting from it in the long run. Maybe we can cultivate a different attitude toward our practice. Sometimes we get into a sort of stasis. Rise back up to your seat. We're going to go ahead and bend the right knee again, bringing the sole of the right foot inside the left thigh. We're going to lean onto that right hip, bend the left knee, and bring the heel toward the buttocks on the same side. We're going to take a little twist over toward the left, opening up the quad, and a twist over toward the right hand behind you. And then we're going to come into child's pose. A little further into class than we often do. Finding our way with the face down, knees wide or narrow, your choice. That warmed me up enough to remove a layer. Layers. Parfait has layers. Everyone likes parfait. Name that movie. Arms are long in front. Palms draw together, pinky fingers on the ground. Elbows bend so that the fingertips come to the nape of the neck or between the shoulder blades. We make room for the head. And one at a time, the elbows walk forward until they can't walk forward anymore. We want to keep the sitting bones moving toward the heels, so if they're lifting, you can stop with the elbow walk. Elbow walk makes me think of how we depict dragons walking on what looks like elbows of their wings. And we're opening up the shoulders, under the arms, the side bodies. You might even decide to walk the elbows over gently to one side to feel a little stretch. On the opposite side. Inhale, elbows to the center. Exhale, walk them to the opposite side. Elbows to the center. Hands down. Table top. I almost said tablecloth. Hands under the shoulders. And take a moment to close your eyes and just feel the body, listen to the body, and curate the movement it will take. I'm going to move into a hula hoop like movement. And whatever you're doing, if it is asymmetrical or one-sided, you're going to do 3 to 5 of that motion or movement and take it in the opposite direction. Toes tuck. Hips shift back a little, not so that you're all the way sitting on your heels, but just enough to place the backs of the hands onto the earth with the fingers pointing toward your knees. And see if you can roll more onto the backs of the hands rather than the knuckles. Maybe you find a little rocking forward and backward. You might even, if you're watching the video, you might only ascertain that I have a tiny movement here. If you have more stretch, especially for your thumbs, you can curl your fingers into a fist, leaving the thumbs out of the fist. So opening up the outer edge of the wrist, working to have the inner elbows face one another. We'll go the opposite way, palms on the ground, fingers point outward or somewhere between out, left, and right and toward your knees. Again, rocking forward and backward, this time working the heels of the hands and the pad underneath the thumb at the bottom of the thumb into the earth. Fingers point forward, wrists are underneath the shoulders, a cat. A cow. Another cat. Followed by the cow. This time a neutral spine. Left leg long behind you, ball of the foot on the mat, rocking forward and backward. Sole of the feet gaining benefit. Draw the belly in and up so it's not dropping downward. And the shoulders come over the wrists, super strong in the belly, the quad, the hamstrings, and the glutes on the left side. We float that left leg. Untuck your right toes for better balance. Sweep the left leg to the left. Take a peek at your toes. Sweep the leg behind you. Then it crosses above the right leg. Take a peek at your left toes. Come back front and center. Draw your knee to your nose. Exaggerate it. Inhale, extend. And drop your knee to the mat. You might need some wiggles and waggles here. You might feel a little imbalanced, but no worries. We're going to take the other side. Right leg stretches long, ball of the foot on the mat. A rocking forward and backward. nice and slowly to feel the Achilles heel, the calf, the sole of the foot, the toes gaining benefit. Shoulders over the wrist, we find stillness and float the right leg. Squeeze that upper leg in the glutes, reach the heel behind you, and sweep the leg over to the right. Take a peek at your toes. Sweep the leg behind you, look forward, and sweep the leg above the left calf. Look over your left shoulder, take a peek at your toes. Leg sweeps behind your long and strong, knee to nose. Take your time. Inhale, extend. And drop your knee to the mat. We're going to do something a little different today rather than going straight into a downward dog. We're going to take the left foot and place it behind the left wrist. So your tricep is inside your knee and your hand and foot are lined up, or your front to back. Then we're going to do that to the other side. It will cause you to take a little squat. Feet, if they can, are parallel to the outer edges of the mat. If your hands can't totally be on the mat, which mine are not, that's totally cool. Stay with the crouch with the belly on the thighs. Drop your head. Take a ragdoll, elbows cupped, one in each hand. Take a sway left and right. And then interlace your hands at your low back, your fingers, or you can hook them. Checking that your feet are even and parallel. Breathe in, and as you exhale, maybe the hands float from the spine. Maybe not. We're still working our way into openness. Hands release to the earth. Float to standing, rooting to rise. Meet in mountain pose. Tadasana. Ta-da! Inhale, arms out by your sides and then up overhead, fingers wide. More of the tada, like Tadasana, hands to your heart, Samasthihi. So you might be in a little bit of a wider stance than normal. That is purposeful. Drop your hands. Inhale, sweep them high. A hinge at your hips, slowly forward fold, Uttanasana. Halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. You might press the shins away from you. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise to standing sunrise. Exhale, hands to your heart. Hands draw to your hips. Step the left foot halfway back on the mat. Rock forward and backward. We are going to come into pyramid, but we're not going to do it immediately. We're going to take some steps there to get there. So find all four corners of your feet. Press the big toe mounds, the outer edges, the heels into the earth. Fold halfway down. If you need to bend your front knee to get halfway down, bend your front knee. Starting to stretch out the right side of that leg. Rise all the way up. Use the belly, step the left foot forward. Step the right foot halfway back on the mat. Keeping that space left to right. It's a little bit wider than you might normally do. Left hip is moving back in space. All four corners of the feet attached to the earth. Belly strong, tailbone down. Breathe in. Exhale, fold halfway down. What are we cultivating here? Are we saying, why aren't we doing warriors? Why we aren't doing vinyasa? Or are we going with the flow? Are we cultivating an openness? Are we curating this experience? Lift back up. Step forward. Find a chair pose, Utkatasana. If you were participating in last week's class, you know that we focused on chair pose. 3 chairs for chair. Hurrah! Imagine that your thighs are spinning toward each other and are grasping whatever, an exercise ball, a block, a roll of toilet paper. Your energy is in your heels and the belly is drawing in so that the tailbone can draw a little down. So rather than dumping the belly forward and arching the low back behind us, we're finding a little tuck of the tailbone for safety in the low back. Inhale, rise up, cactus-shaped arms. Exhale, eagle arms right underneath left. You might be a little more open now because we've done this already. Elbows lift. This time we're going to step halfway back on the mat. You might heel toe the right foot out to the right and left foot is behind you. And we fold halfway down. You might notice that the process we're working through is actually a cultivation into a posture. Gently with the belly strong, rise back up, step the left foot forward. Find chair pose, Utkatasana. Keeping the arms in your eagle shape. Maybe you can lift the elbows and send the hands away from the face. Inhale, rise up, arms reach high. Breathe out for a fold, hinging at your hips, maybe softening your knees. Fingertips on the ground, rise to your tippy toes. So you're in this sort of weird, I don't know what to call this. Loosen the head and then crouch the bottom toward the heels so you remain on the balls of the feet. A little balance work, hands to your heart. And if you like to give it a shot, you can take some twists or move into side crow or anything that suits you. It might just be staying here and finding a little bird with your fingers. We're going to try and move into chair from here. As Yoda says, there is no try. There is only do. So we'll rise up, heels lifted, get into chair with hands at the heart, and then drop the heels to the mat, arms sweep high. Inhale, rise up to standing. Exhale, hands back to cactus shape. And this time in our eagle arms, we'll bring the left elbow underneath the right. Step the right foot halfway back on the mat. Maybe widen your stance a little bit. Left hip working its way behind you. Breathe in. Exhale, halfway down, fold. Make your way there through several breaths. Really dragging the energy of the left foot backward. Rise back up. Step into chair pose, Utkatasana. Arms will float high. Exhale, hands back to your heart. A shift onto the right foot and the left knee lifts in. And find our way to a warrior one stance, taking your time. Nice powered up back leg. Bend in your front knee. Checking that your left glutes are really working on your behalf, especially if you have low back issues. Hands can be where it feels okay. I'm going to stay in a cactus shape. With your cactus arm, step into chair. Hands to your heart once again. Shift into warrior one stance. Right knee lifts. Leg stretches behind. Step the foot back. Bring the heel to the ground. Adjust your stance. I need to widen left to right. Arms wherever it feels okay. I'm going to go into cactus again. Step into chair, arms overhead. This one could be called 4 chairs for chair, it sounds like. Hands to your heart. We're going to shift back into that warrior one stance. Left foot behind. Find the footing, find the length in the back leg, power it up. Hands drop by your side so palms face forward. That gives you an opportunity to determine how you're going to work this posture. Then we lift the arms high. Find a cactus shape. Find the eagle arms, right elbow under left. Wrap once or twice, elbows lift. We're going to humble this warrior, coming halfway down and all the way down. Back knee likes to bend. Hands frame your front foot. Lengthen your front leg, shorten your stance if you need to. Here we are finally in Parsvottanasana. Sending the right hip back and the left hip forward. Head is heavy. Back foot steps up to meet the front. Guess where this goes? Chair pose, Utkatasana, arms float overhead. Exhale, hands to your heart. Shift into the left foot energy. Float the right knee. Come back to your warrior one. Right foot behind you. Heel toe where you need to be. Strong back foot. Hands drop by your sides. Cultivate this posture. Curate whatever's going on around you. If there's noise, your choice to take it in or not. Arms float overhead. Cactus shape. This time left elbow underneath right. Eagle arms. Let's go ahead and lift the left heel off the mat. Send a little more depth into the bend of that knee and bring the left heel down again. Squeezing those right glutes and drawing the left hip backward. Humble your warrior. Unravel the hands, frame your front foot. Straighten your front leg, shorten your stance if need be for Parsvottanasana. Step forward, rise to standing. Nice work. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift. We're going to do one vinyasa here. Exhale, forward fold, a step for your high plank. Making your way to a low plank. Maybe knees are down, elbows are in. Finding a back bend. Maybe it's an upward dog or a baby cobra. And making your way to down dog. 3 beautiful cleansing rounds of breath. Drawing the belly in and up to lift the sits bones. Slowly peel forward, high plank. Drop your knees to the earth. Let's find Anahatasana, inchworm pose. Hands walk forward until the forehead, chin, or chest is on the mat. The hips are right above the knees. So if you feel like you're too far forward, you probably are. And if you're too far back, you won't get the benefit of the back bend. If shoulders get cranky here, bend your elbows out to the sides, touch your fingertips and your thumbs. If the head doesn't
meet the earth, place something underneath it. A perfect place to return to your intentions. What are you cultivating in today's practice that perhaps you can bring off the mat with you? How are you curating outside stimulus in a manner that you might take off the mat with you? Walk back to a tabletop, tucking the tailbone. We'll take a little twist with the right arm floating high first. Thread the needle, right arm behind the left wrist. You might sneak the left hand forward a little bit to help you out. You're coming onto the forearm, the tricep, or the shoulder on the right side. And the left hand can crawl forward or find a place that feels right for you. This twist is really great. Some people like to work a balance into it. So you could stretch the left leg long behind, keeping the toes on the mat or not, floating that leg or not, and maybe lifting the leg a little higher and opening up your hips or not. Any legs lifted can drop to the knee. Left hand works underneath the left shoulder. You might feel your spine take a little extra twist there. And the right arm floats high so you can return to your tabletop. Left arm high, thread the needle, twisty, twisty on the other side. Leg long if you practiced it on the left side. Leg lifts if you practice it on the left side. Hip opens if you practice it on, you got it, the left side. Legs drop if they're lifted. Right hand under your shoulder. Left arm floats. And we return to tabletop. Crawl forward to the center of your mat. Cross your ankles to roll over them. We're going to work our way down to the mat for the final 6 minutes of our practice. That seemed to go really fast. So we're going to have the soles of the feet on the earth, knees bent, hands onto your kneecaps, sit up really tall. Then float the arms in front of you, lock them back into your shoulders. Take a breath in. Use your belly, tucking your tailbone to come a little ways down, maybe a third of the way. Yeah, we're going to take it in thirds. 3, 3, 3. Best margarita mix ever is a third, a third, a third. I'll tell you more on that later. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, come a third of the way down. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, come all the way down. Woo-hoo! Cross your right ankle over your left knee. Stay here, pressing the right knee away from you. Or supine figure 4, supine pigeon, both feet active, hands behind your left thigh or in front of your left shin. Using the right elbow to send the right knee away and down. We plant the left foot on the ground, then we drop the knees all the way to the right. You might need to shift your hips to the left a little bit for this twist. Arms flop out, gaze moves opposite your knees. This little sort of hook and anchor shape. The left foot is your anchor to the ground, and the right ankle and foot is your hook to the left knee. I find when I twist this way, I actually get a deeper shoulder stretch. I don't know whether that's what everyone feels, but it feels really good. Keeping the right ankle where it is, scoot the sole of the left foot back to the earth. Then go ahead and hug both knees into your chest. We'll take that all to the opposite side. The right foot plants, left ankle crosses it. You supine figure 4, supine pigeon. Ideally, if it works for the body, you take it the same shape, the same motions as the first side. But for some people, that doesn't work, whether that's due to surgery or injury or something else, just general stiffness, yoga for stiff people. Sole of the right foot to the earth. Knees draw over to the left. Arms flop outward. Oh yeah, my right hip is loving this. We take a peek over to the right. Gently, the spine returns to the mat, sole of the feet onto the mat, both knees gather into the heart. Staying here, finding knee circles or a happy baby or legs up the wall, whatever your choice is here. I'm going to squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And once again, if you take any variations that have asymmetrical movements, you're going to take it on both sides. One more giant breath in and complete, full, happy breath out. Return to a natural breath, no effort, and find your final resting posture. That could be legs up the wall, a Supta Baddha Konasana, or the more traditional long body, space between the legs, space between the arms and the side bodies, palms up, shoulder blades kissing the earth. Not thinking, not doing, simply being. As you deepen the inhale, point your toes, reach the arms up overhead, hook your thumbs, and reach the fingers away and the toes away, breathing in as deeply as you can, just to release it all or roll on to one side. Come back to that which you are cultivating and your intention for curation. And consider how those could come off the mat with you. Maybe you just pick one. Maybe it feels overwhelming to try both. And remember that what we practice, what we cultivate, what we put effort into is often what surrounds us and comes back to us. Press yourself to a comfortable seat. If you're crossing your legs and you took a natural cross, maybe you take the awkward cross and bring the palms together at the heart. Bring a little smile to not just the lips, but the face and the insides. And let's close our practice with Om. Exhale all the air from your lungs. Take a nice big breath in. Om. thumb knuckles meet your center forehead. May you cultivate that which serves yourself and others. And may you curate to allow the serving to come through. Namaste. It was a treasure to practice with you. I hope to see you again soon, and maybe in person at some point in our lives. We're right here in Central Vermont. I hope you have a wonderful day, a great week, a wonderful month, and more. Curate and cultivate that which makes sense for a good life. Take care. See you soon.